Hey there YouTube, Wrestling Optimus here, back with another unboxing video. Today we're going to be taking a look at some figures for alumni of WWE's ill-fated 205 Live. After the rousing success of 2016's Cruiserweight Classic, a weekly show was developed to highlight these smaller, under 205 pounds, but usually more athletic wrestlers. Unfortunately, it never really grew beyond a niche audience that had to traverse the old WWE network in order to watch. Regardless, most of the guys featured on 205 Live went on to have very successful careers even after the show's inevitable demise. So today, in addition to all the alumni I already have figures for, pictured here, I'm going to open up 5 more as we remember and celebrate this now infamous purple brand. Now personally, I love 205 Live. It had a small but deep and diverse roster, so let's start by running down my current collection, their notable achievements on the show, and where they are now. In the front row here, we have Kalisto, who I believe is now wrestling on the independent scene as Samurai del Sol. He's made some appearances on AEW, mostly on Dark. Next to him is former 205 Live General Manager Drake Maverick, and this figure is from when he was feuding with R-Truth over the 24/7 championship. Honestly, I haven't really heard what he's up to ever since he left NXT. Next to him is Gentleman Jack Gallagher, who got wrapped up in the speaking out movement, so we'll simply move on. In the second row, we have Enzo Amore, who went on to a notorious rap career under the name Real One. He also sporadically wrestles on the independent scene. To the right of him is the former Neville, now known as Pac in AEW, and member of Death Triangle along with the Lucha Brothers. And to the right of him is the former Buddy Murphy, now Buddy Matthews, also in AEW, but with the House of Black. The third row starts with Akira Tozawa, who is still with WWE, but mostly wrestles in comedic spots despite his athletic talent. Next to him is Mustafa Ali, who's also still with WWE. The former Retribution leader currently has a positivity gimmick. And to his left is the former TJ Perkins, who was the first modern Cruiserweight champion. He now goes by TJP and wrestles all over, including Impact and New Japan Strong. Finally, in the back row, we have Tony Nese, who's currently wrestling with AEW as part of the Varsity Athletes, along with Josh Woods. Next to him is his former tag team partner, Drew Gulak, who is still with WWE, but currently on the NXT brand. All the way in the back there is the former Hideo Itami, better known as Kenta in New Japan. And next to him, still feuding over Alicia Fox, is Cedric Alexander and Noam Dar. Both are still signed with WWE, but took drastically different paths after 205 Live ended. During the pandemic, Cedric Alexander joined the very successful Hurt Business, but he's currently floundering on the main roster. While Noam Dar went off to NXT UK, where he was a 2-time Heritage Cup champion. He's now back on NXT proper, still carrying around his precious Heritage Cup. Last but not least, all the way back on commentary is the former Aiden English. I'm sad to say that he announced recently he is retiring from in-ring competition. However, I do believe he'll continue doing commentary work on the independent scene. And that brings us to today's figures. Like I said earlier, we have 5 to open up, so let's get unboxing. First up, we have Arya Daivari. And it is his first time in the line, and probably last time in the line because he's currently in AEW. That's where his new gimmick is that his parents left him a giant trust, and he's now the richest guy in AEW, therefore he can buy himself a stable of henchmen called the Trust Busters. This includes Slim J, the former Harlan, now Parker Boudreaux from NXT, Sonny Kiss, and Arya's own personal butler, Jeeves K. Meanwhile, back on 205 Live, he was honestly one of the more forgettable guys, which is probably why this figure is so simple, but it's also a basic, so that's to be expected. Anyway, this is part of Series 99, and if we flip it around, we see that it also includes Becky Lynch, Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Rey Mysterio. And we can also see right here that this goes all the way back to 2019. So yeah, it's been a while since he was relevant on WWE television. But now it's time to let him breathe. Here he is out of the box. He does pass the stand-up test really well. I think the face sculpt does look a lot like him. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus in on it a little bit. There we go. And yeah, he doesn't have a lot of unique features, and normally that makes it hard to get a good head sculpt, but this one's really good. And I would say one of the more accurate ones for a basic. Moving down the body of the figure here, it says Daivari on his trunks, and then we have A for Arya on the knee pads there. Basic black boots, so nothing to write home about there. And then on the back of the trunks there, we have some, I believe, Arabic writing. Although it might be Persian or Farsi, I don't really know, and I don't want to speak out of turn here, so I'm just going to move on and flip him around here. As I already mentioned with basics, there's not a lot to go off of, so we are going to grade them pretty easy. With a really nice head sculpt, it stands up well, and a couple little flourishes on the gear there, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Next up, I mentioned at the beginning that I have a Kalisto. Well, it's time to add his Lucha House Party teammate here, Lince Dorado. Now, this is not his first time in the line because there have been other figures for him, but this one just looks really cool. I like these blue and yellow pants, and the mask he's wearing is awesome, but we'll look into that in a second. Since leaving WWE, Lince Dorado has kept his name on the independent scene, and he's currently signed with MLW, although he has done a few matches on Dark and Dark Elevation, I believe. But this is part of Series 131, and if we spin it around, this series also included Candice LeRae, Randy Orton, Bianca Belair, and Happy Corbin in the suit. I was actually thinking about getting that Corbin figure at one point, but then he changed his gimmick. Looking at the back here, it says his signature move is the Cara Dorado and the Shooting Star Press, and of course, he's a high flyer, just like the rest of Lucha House Party. So without any further ado, I say it's time to just let him breathe. Here he is. He stands up perfect, and I just want to bring him straight in front of the camera here to take a look at this figure because it is awesome. Obviously, first up, we have that insane mask. Look at that. Great detailing all around, especially the kind of cat-like fur. Hopefully the camera can really show that detail there. I believe Lince means lynx in Spanish. Maybe somebody can correct me in the comments if that is not the case. And Dorado means golden, so I think he is the golden lynx. But in addition to that mask, look at this tattoo work. Absolutely incredible. It looks like some type of cloaked death figure maybe there. Thank you, camera, for clearing up. He's also got something down here on his forearm that's pretty cool. He's got really nice wrist cuffs as well. And then taking a look at these pants, in addition to them being this awesome two-tone of yellow and blue, really nice bright colors, we also have this really cool design down the side. It does lead into otherwise pretty basic boots, just painted the same color as the pants. But coming up on this side, we have a blue wrist cuff this time, and a few more tattoos, so hopefully the camera stays in focus. Let me bend his arm down here. I think these are like Aztec designs. That is really awesome. One more on this shoulder. And then I believe, yeah, there's a couple more on the back. Those might actually be lynxes. So yeah, with all this detailing, I think you just gotta give it a 10 out of 10. Real easy grading for this one. This is gonna make an awesome addition to my kind of independent drawer here. So yeah, if you see this in the wild or you see it online, definitely go out and get it. Especially if you're a fan of, as Jack from Cultaholic says, your boy, Lince Dorado. And of course, that means next is going to be Gran Metalik, the third and final member of Lucha House Party. So I have all three of those guys now. Also known as the King of the Ropes, I do believe he had an elite figure. That was the first time in the line. So this basic is his second figure. It's part of Series 130. And if we spin him around, this is part of a series that includes AJ Styles, John Cena, Johnny Gargano, and first time in the line Omos. I think I opened that up in a recent video. Just like his buddy Lince Dorado, he's a high flyer, except that his moves are the Metalik driver and the tightrope elbow drop. Now, I'm not sure if he didn't get the rights to the Gran Metalik name or if he just didn't want it because it was WWE's, but he currently goes under the name Mascara Dorada, which I think means golden mask. And in addition to appearing on New Japan Strong, he's also, I believe, signed to AEW, although he works on the Ring of Honor show. But I've personally seen him on Dark once or twice, so he has been on AEW television proper. Anyway, let's let him breathe. Just like with Lince Dorado, it is all about the details. He passes the stand test, and I'm just going to get right into checking out his gear here. We'll of course start with that mask, which is incredible. But unlike Lince, he doesn't have the fur up here. Instead, he has his hair coming out the back and sides. Looking at the back itself here, we have this awesome winged pattern, and then that just continues around to the front again, where we see that he has this kind of one-piece bodysuit with these really cool graphics here, and equally nice graphics on the arms and gauntlets. We'll check out the legs, since I don't believe he has any tattoos like Lince did. And yeah, not gonna lie, he kind of looks like the Flash, with all this red and yellow and what looks to be like lightning bolts. Again, basic boots, but that's to be expected. I do like that they're a different color than the pants, unlike Lince where they were the same color. And yeah, this is another really great figure. I'm gonna say this is also a 10 out of 10. The Lucha House Party is rocking today. Back-to-back 10 out of 10s. That is very impressive. In fact, let's do this. There it is, the entire Lucha House Party. All fantastic figures, especially those masks, which of course they're known for being luchadors. And yeah, I would say if you get the chance, pick up these 3 figures in particular. I know they got some other versions of themselves out there, but these 3 just really go well together. So yeah, Lucha, Lucha, Lucha. And finally, the only battle pack we're opening up today, it's the Singh Brothers, Sunil and Samir. This is from their first time in the line, although I do believe they got individual figures at some point. Now, they were originally on the independent scene as the Bollywood Boys. They came into WWE to work the Cruiserweight Classic, eventually got picked up as Jinder Mahal's henchmen, and then wound up back on 205 Live before getting released. Now they're back on the independent scene once again as the Bollywood Boys, and recently appeared on a couple episodes of AEW. This particular 2-pack is part of Series 57, and if we flip it around, it looks like there was also battle packs of Shinsuke Nakamura vs Finn Balor, as well as Kane vs Braun Strowman. This battle pack is actually even older than that other figure, going back to 2018. But yeah, without any further ado, let's let the Singh Brothers breathe. Alright, the good news is they both passed the stand test. The bad news is, I have no idea which one's Sunil and which one's Samir. But regardless, pulling them closer to the camera, I will say the head sculpts look pretty good. The biggest problem, and I'm not sure if my lighting and camera are really going to show this off, is that their skin tone is way off. They honestly look like most of my white wrestlers who just have tans, because the skin tone is super pale, when in reality these 2 guys are Indian and they have very caramel skin. But to be fair, these are basic, so I'm not really sure what you expect, and they do have really good head sculpts like I said. We'll take a look at both of them at the same time since they're wearing pretty much the same clothes. We have these really nice dark blue dress shirts. The only problem with them is that the collars are hard, meaning that you can't really turn the heads very well. And you definitely can't make them go up and down very well. The pants are basic black, along with black dress shoes. So not really much going on there. Since they are slacks, we have a belt here, so we see the buckle. And then not much really going on the back. So I would say as henchmen, these are really great figures because they're not supposed to detract away from the star that they're working for, in this case Jinder Mahal. And for basics, those head sculpts are really impressive. I am gonna ding them a whole point for that skin tone because you gotta represent for the Brown Brothers. And so with that said, the Singh Brothers are getting a 9 out of 10. Alright, that's going to do it for today's unboxing video. I think that was the best overall average of scores I've ever had. And what's crazy is they're all basics, not an elite in sight. So very, very impressive, representing for the Cruiserweights and 205 Live, rest in peace. Let me know what you think about these figures down there in the comments, and if you liked the video, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may know, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on Twitter at WrestlingOptimus, or see all my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. If you haven't seen my latest video, it should be on screen now. But until next time, I've been Wrestling Optimus, and I'll catch you later.